unusual money making. We're back, and I'm excited to say that in today's episode, more money will be made than ever before. I tested out some of the best unusual moneymakers we've ever had on this series to see if they still work. We've had some pretty awesome discoveries over the past few years that aren't on the unusual money-making leaderboards. Methods that I tested before I even made the leaderboards. Lava scale shards made us over 2 mil an hour. Collecting achievement diary dailies made us a cool 200k a day. We've also got some new discoveries that include a method sliding straight into the #1 slot of all time. So, what do you guys say? Ready to make some money? Make sure to leave your unusual methods in the comments below or send me a message on Discord or Twitter. If I like it, I'll try it out and put it in the next video. And while you're down there, don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe if you're new. The methods don't have to be amazing GP an hour, just weird and unusual. That's what the series is all about. I won't lie, the old school economy at the moment has me stressed. If only I could find a way to de-stress by watching some funny movies and TV shows. Well, I can, courtesy of ExpressVPN. There's so many amazing shows and movies that you can't access on sites like Netflix because it's not available in your country. But with ExpressVPN, that's no longer an issue. It lets you reroute your internet connection to different places, which lets you expand your entertainment selection and gives you access to thousands of shows and movies on dozens of different platforms. I just started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which isn't available on US Netflix, but is in the UK. By switching my server to the UK on ExpressVPN, I can watch it with no issues. The great thing about a VPN is that it encrypts your internet connection. The encrypted connection goes through a secure tunnel between your device and the internet. It helps keep your information private and secure and protects you from scammers and hackers, and it's done to the highest standard possible. They have the fastest speeds, 24/7 customer support, and are constantly rated as the top VPN provider. Find out how you can get 3 months free by clicking the link in the description box below, expressvpn.com/soup. Make sure to take advantage. Last February, I uploaded a video called I Found the Best Ever Unusual Moneymaker. What I did was buy lava scales off the GE and crush them with a pestle and mortar to receive a bunch of lava shards. If you have the Wilderness Hard Diary complete, you receive 50% more lava shards per lava scale. After trying out the method, it came out to a cool 2 million GP an hour, the best method we've ever had on this series. So, it's been over a year. Does this method still hold up as one of the best? Let's find out. 1,000 lava scales cost me 2,432,007 GP. To turn the scales into the shards, it's simply a case of how fast can you spam click between a pestle and mortar and the scales. When you're finished with an inventory, open the bank, grab some more, and continue the process. Crushing 1,000 scales takes 15 minutes. I ended up with 8,956 shards, and they all sold instantly on the GE for 2,982,348 GP. That means we profited 550,341 GP in 15 minutes. Whoa, okay, wow. So, times that number by 4, and we have an hourly profit of 2,201,364 GP. Not only does this method still work incredibly well after 1 year, it actually earned us more money per hour than last time, coming in at a whopping 2.2 million GP per hour. By far the best method I've ever covered. I think we can safely give this one a big thumbs up. Another solid method we covered in that video was collecting your daily freebies from your completed achievement diaries. By collecting all the freebies, we made 182k a day. Good enough for 2.5 million every 14 days, so not exactly enough for a bond, but hey, you can't go wrong with a free 2.5 mil. Let's see how much all of this makes us a year later. Lundale gives us 50 free runes, Rance gives us 150 ogre arrows, the Flaxkeeper turns 250 flax into 250 bowstring for free, Wizard Cromperty gives us 150 pure essence, Thuris gives us 80 dynamite, and Zaf gives us a huge discount daily on battle staves. By selling everything to the GE, we made 218k, 36k more than last year. If we do this every day for 14 days, we'll collect about 3 million GP. Bonds are pretty expensive these days, so just doing this wouldn't be enough to upkeep a bond, but like I said earlier, you can't go wrong collecting a cool 6 milli a month. Another thumbs up for me. Alright, let's move on to some of your unusual money-making suggestions. Ricky said, huge fan. Hey, thanks Ricky. I was obtaining rabbit feet on my iron since birdhouses recently got buffed. You can obtain god eggs from them wearing a strung rabbit foot to increase the egg drop chance. They're so quick to catch, and I'm sure you can make a decent amount of money per hour. So, let me break down this method because it is quite unique. White rabbits can be found in the Piscatoris Hunter area and can be caught with a rabbit snare and 27 Hunter. You'll also need to catch a few ferrets, which you can find right next to where the rabbits are. Catching the rabbits is by far one of the strangest and funniest things in the game. Since I have above 80 Hunter, I'm able to set up 5 traps. To catch these rabbits, you'll need to line up the rabbit snares horizontally next to one another like this. Once you've lined them all up, just spam click on the northeastern rabbit hole and watch the rabbits fly out of these holes at record speeds. Look how fast they are. I found this absolutely hilarious. I don't know why, it just made me laugh. The rabbits will eventually all get caught in your traps. Once all your traps are full, just left click on the trap and you'll collect bones, a raw rabbit, and the moneymaker item, a rabbit's foot. In total, I managed to collect 93 rabbit's feet in 30 minutes. I was a bit skeptical about the price though. A niche item like this usually doesn't sell too quickly. The first thing I tested was just to straight up sell 1 rabbit's foot for med price, and okay, 5,000 GP instant sell. Looking pretty good, but we might be able to make more money by using a ball of wool on the rabbit's foot, so you can create a strung rabbit foot. This is the item that gives a better chance for god eggs from birdhouses. I turned the rest of the rabbit's feet into strung rabbit's feet, chucked them on the GE, and they instant sold for 9,600 GP a pop, which means we made 870k in 30 minutes doing this method. That is nuts, and definitely worth revisiting for the full hour, so that's exactly what I did. Except this time, I full focused. I try-harded to see how many I could get. 1 hour later, I had my answer. 241 rabbit feet. I also gained 30k Hunter XP an hour, which isn't too bad. I quickly turned them all into strung rabbit feet and threw them on the GE for 9,000 GP each. This time, only 20 instant sold, but I figured it was worth leaving in overnight to see if they'd sell, and that's exactly what happened. All 241 sold for 9,000 GP each, giving me a grand total profit of 2,175,000 GP. Are you kidding me? 2 million GP an hour catching white rabbits. That tops the chart with lava scale shards, and I'd say this is a much stranger method, so this right here might be the king of unusual moneymakers. 2 mil an hour methods in this video. If that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. Ricky, you're a beast. Windless Zephyr wants me to set my house to Prifdinus and buy all the dyes from the dye shop. Guinevere's dye sells 6 different dyes for 6 GP each and have 10 in stock of each one. All I have to do is teleport outside my house in Prif, run south a bit, buy an inventory of dyes, teleport to a bank, and repeat the process. It's your classic method where you buy from an NPC and sell it on the GE for some hopefully nice profit. Dyes aren't the most commonly traded item, so I decided to make this an overnight method again where I hope that when I wake up, they're all sold. After 1 hour, I collected 2,108 dyes. The price checker estimates that it's worth 854k. Not bad, but let's see how much they sell for in the GE. Like I said, I left the offer in overnight and woke up to most of the dyes being sold. I had to sell some of the green and red dyes for a bit lower in order for them to sell, but we sold them all for 772k. We only spent 13k on them, so we profited 759,000 GP. That right there is a solid moneymaker. Granted, we did have to wait quite some time for them all to sell, but they sold and we made some great money. Good method. BS says that most higher levels don't pick up their loot on Worm Slayer tasks in the Karolm dungeon. Hop to a busy world and loot the bones and loot for 1 hour. This method has been requested a bunch of times, so let's try it out. Worms can be found in the southwestern part of the Karolm dungeon. They're a mid-level Slayer monster and quite a popular task, so you should be able to find people there. Method itself is pretty simple. Find a popular world and wait for the loot to appear. I hopped around and found a juicy world with 5 people and decided to stick it out. Before you know, bones and loot started appearing. I tell you what though, it felt a bit strange looting the drops of levels like 90 when I was a level 126. I kind of felt like I was getting some strange looks, but I was here for money. The main drop you'll get is of course the worm bones, and most of the other loot is pretty bad, but you'll occasionally get some blood and soul runes or rune arrow tips. After 1 hour, here's the loot I got. 162 worm bones and a bunch of random other loot. In total, I sold it for 192k. So, was that worth it? For me personally, no. I'd much rather do other unusual methods for money, but maybe there's one of you who likes it. I don't know. It's up to you. Meh. Zamath says that I can make insane money if I farm my own crystal shards and open the Elven Crystal chest. There's the word, insane. Let's see if it really is. If you use 10 crystal shards on a crystal key, you get an enhanced crystal key. This lets you open the Elven Crystal chest in Prifddinas, which is pretty much a better version of the chest you can open in Taverley with the normal crystal key. There's a 1 in 10,000 chance to get an Onyx, and there's a 1 in 500 chance to get a piece of the Dragonstone armor set, which to me is probably the ugliest armor in the game. It just looks terrible, so honestly, I don't even want to get it. The rest of the loot is a guaranteed Dragonstone and some pretty standard resource and supply drops. Like I said earlier, you need to use 10 crystal shards on a crystal key to make an enhanced crystal key, but you can't buy the crystal shards on the GE. They're untradeable. You have to do activities inside of Prifddinas to have a chance of getting these crystal shards. Luckily, I have a bunch of shards and crystal keys on my Iron Man, so I figured I would make 10 keys and see what happens. Here's what I got back. 335k worth of loot and 2 more crystal keys from the chest. So I made 2 more enhanced crystal keys and opened those up as well. In total, 12 enhanced crystal keys made me 366k. Take away 200k for the cost of the crystal keys, and we profited around 160k. I can't really put a profit per hour on this since needing untradeable crystal shards is necessary for the method, but it is true that if you did this for an entire hour, you would make a lot of money. But I think I'd rather use my crystal shards on divine potions since I profit more that way. Meh. Renbot wants me to buy ale yeast from an NPC in Keldegrim. You can buy them for 25 GP each, and they apparently sell for almost 2,000 GP each on the Grand Exchange. Ale yeast is popular for one main reason. You have to use it when brewing ales, which we actually covered a couple of episodes ago. In order to buy the ale yeast from him, you need an empty pot and 25 GP. In order to get the yeast from him, you need to go through a bit of a conversation. Buying a full inventory of ale yeast takes around 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the process to bank and return to the dwarf takes about 45 seconds. After 30 minutes of doing this, I ended up with 243 ale yeast, and they sold on the GE for 749 GP each after about 15 minutes. A bit less than the 2k GP I was expecting. Doing this for an entire hour would have profited us 362k. I have to say, not my favorite method, but again, it's not always about how much money we make, but rather how unusual the method is. Meh. The final unusual method of today comes to us from Immoral. He says that if you do Barrows at midnight, you have a better chance of receiving an item. Jerv replied saying that this is true and was actually confirmed on one of the JMod streams a while back. You have 15 to 20 minutes with an increased chance of a drop. But then he said you have to talk to Oziak in Edgeville, and that's when I knew that my mans was just f***ing with us. Well played, Jerv. But I'm still curious. Let's knock out a Barrows run at midnight and see what happens. We have to, of course, base our midnight off of the in-game timer, so here we go. Alright, we are very close to midnight in-game time. What I'm going to do is actually knock out the run right now, so by the time I make it to the chest, it's going to almost be midnight, and as soon as the clock strikes 12, I'm going to loot the chest and see what we get. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. 12k? Really? 12k? Yeah, not happening. Thanks for watching today's unusual money-making video. Don't forget to leave your weird money-making methods in the comments below. If I like them, I'll try them out and maybe put them in the next video. If you'd like to watch more of my content, check out another money-making video of mine where I make a bond from scratch using only unusual moneymakers, and my video on the dangerous direction the old school RuneScape economy is headed towards.